Welcome back to Renew Your Life. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm really glad you could join us. Today, we're diving into something I know so many of us deal with, that really frustrating feeling of mental fog. You know what I mean, right? So, like, your brain isn't quite firing on all cylinders. Everything feels a bit hazy, a bit unclear. Maybe you find yourself struggling to focus, or simple tasks suddenly feel overwhelming, or you just feel mentally sluggish. It happens. Life throws stress at us. Maybe sleep gets disrupted, things get chaotic, and suddenly just thinking clearly feels like a real challenge. I definitely understand that feeling. But here's what I really want to explore today, something I truly believe in here at Renew You Life. That clouded state, it doesn't have to stick around. There are, practical, effective ways we can work on cutting through that fog and sharpening our mental clarity. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack some straightforward practices that I've found really helpful, things that can help bring back focus, clarity, and maybe even that creative spark.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how deeply connected our physical habits are with how our brain actually functions. We
Mhm.
sometimes talk about mind and body as if they're totally separate things, don't we?
Right, like two different systems.
Exactly. But the science, well, it just makes it incredibly clear how much they influence each other. So looking at these specific practices, it really helps us understand that vital link. You can see how even small changes in habit can lead to pretty significant mental benefits.
Absolutely. It's often less about sheer willpower and more about like creating the right conditions for your mind to thrive. Okay, so let's get into it. We've looked at several key practices that seem to come up again and again when you explore boosting mental clarity. The first one, and honestly it feels foundational, is prioritizing restful sleep.
It really is. And it's amazing how often sleep gets sort of pushed to the side or underestimated. It's not just passive downtime. It's a really critical period of active restoration for the body and especially for the brain.
Ah, so it's like the brain's essential maintenance crew comes out at night.
That's a great way to put it.
When you're in those deeper sleep stages, what's actually happening in there?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting, scientifically speaking. During deep sleep, something called the brain's glymphatic system kicks into high gear. You can think of it like a specialized waste disposal system, basically.
Okay.
It works to flush out metabolic junk and toxins that build up while we're awake. Things like beta amyloid proteins, you might have heard of those. They're linked to cognitive issues if they accumulate too much.
Wow. So if you're consistently not getting enough sleep or enough deep sleep, that whole cleaning process isn't working as well.
Exactly. It becomes less efficient. And that inefficiency can absolutely show up as that fog and sluggishness we're talking about. It literally impacts how well your neurons can communicate, affecting memory, focus, concentration, the works.
So that advice we always hear, aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. It's not just a nice idea. It sounds like a biological necessity for a clear head.
It really is.
And you mentioned quality sleep. That's just as important as the hours, right?
Precisely. Making sure your sleep environment actually supports good sleep is key. Like a dark, cool bedroom helps minimize things that might wake you up or pull you out of those deeper stages.
Right, cutting down distractions. And I guess that includes screens before bed, that blue light everyone talks about.
Definitely. Screens can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that signals sleepiness. And having a consistent wind-down routine before bed really helps too. It signals to your body, okay, it's time to prepare for rest.
What kind of things help with that?
Simple things, really. Maybe reading a physical book, not on a bright screen. Or focusing on some slow, deep breathing for a few minutes. It tells your nervous system it's okay to relax.
And trying to stick to a regular sleep schedule, even on weekends.
Yeah, that consistency helps regulate your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm. It makes falling asleep and waking up feel more natural.
Okay, sleep is definitely non-negotiable for mental sharpness.
Got it.
So the second practice we identified might seem mostly physical, but its effect on the mind is huge, moving your body regularly.
Yes, another really powerful example of that mind-body connection we were talking about. We all know exercise is good for physical health, obviously, but the cognitive benefits are, well, they're really profound and very well documented.
I notice it myself. Even just taking a short walk outside can make me feel clearer afterwards. What's
Yeah.
happening in the brain there?
Well, physical activity boosts your cardiovascular circulation. That means more oxygen-rich blood flows to your brain.
Ah, better fuel delivery.
Pretty much. This improved blood flow brings essential nutrients and supports the health and function of your neurons. It directly helps things like concentration, attention span, and even memory formation. Plus, and this is really important, regular movement is one of the best stress busters out there.
Right. And stress is a major fog contributor.
Exactly. So managing stress through exercise directly helps clear away that cloudiness. Moving your body can literally help dissipate that nervous energy and quiet a racing mind.
So it doesn't have to be like running a marathon or anything super intense.
Oh, absolutely not. Even moderate activity, say a brisk 20 or 30-minute walk, can make a significant difference to your mood and your thinking. The real key, I think, is finding some kind of movement you actually enjoy. Something that doesn't feel like a punishment.
Yeah, so you'll stick with it.
Exactly. Whether that's dancing around your living room, doing some gardening, finding a quick workout routine you like, making it a consistent part of your week is what really reinforces those brain benefits.
Find joy in movement. I like that. Okay, practice number 3, mindfulness and practices that help you stay present. This seems aimed right at that internal mental chatter.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because often that mental fog gets much worse when our minds are just constantly jumping around, bouncing between worries about the past, anxieties about the future, maybe the million things on your to-do list, instead of focusing on what's right here, right now. Our attention gets so fragmented.
It's like trying to listen to one specific radio station when there are 10 others playing loudly at the same time.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
So mindfulness is essentially the practice of intentionally, gently, bringing your attention back to the present moment without judging yourself for getting distracted. It's like training a muscle, your focus muscle. It helps you observe your thoughts without getting totally swept away by them.
So it helps you sort of untangle that internal knot.
It really can. Techniques that cultivate this kind of presence, they're incredibly effective for clearing out mental clutter. They offer a structured way to just step back from that nonstop stream of thoughts and cultivate a state that's calmer and ultimately sharper.
If someone's totally new to this, where is a good place to begin? It can feel a bit abstract, maybe.
It really doesn't need to be complicated or take up loads of time.
Yeah.
Honestly, starting with just 5 minutes a day can be really beneficial.
Mhm.
You could try simple exercises like just focusing on the physical sensation of your breath going in and out for a few minutes.
Okay.
Or there are tons of guided sessions available online or through apps that can walk you through it. The goal isn't to achieve a perfectly empty mind. That's pretty much impossible. It's more about noticing when your mind wanders, which it will, and just gently guiding it back to your point of focus, like your breath.
And if someone sticks with that, practicing regularly, what kind of changes might they notice over time?
Well, consistent practice really builds up your ability to manage distractions more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
You get better at directing your attention where you want it to go. You also tend to become less reactive to stressful thoughts, which naturally dials down that stress-induced fog we talked about.
Mm.
So over time, you can definitely experience enhanced focus, better clarity, even when things get busy or demanding. It's about building that mental resilience.
Sleep, movement, mindfulness. Okay, tracking these. Practice number 4 is so fundamental: hydration and eating well, fueling the brain properly.
Absolutely foundational.
Mm.
Your brain is an energy-hungry organ. It needs a consistent supply of energy and very specific nutrients to function at its best. What you put into your body directly impacts how clearly and effectively you can think. There's no question about it.
And dehydration, it seems so simple, but wow, it can really hit hard, can it?
It's one of the quickest ways to bring on cognitive issues, honestly. Even being just mildly dehydrated can lead to fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and that unmistakable foggy feeling. Water is crucial for so many brain processes: nerve signaling, transporting nutrients, flushing waste. Just making sure you're sipping water throughout the day is, well, it's non-negotiable for mental clarity.
Just keeping that water bottle handy makes a difference. Okay, what about food? What kinds of food should we be thinking about specifically for brain health?
You want to focus on foods that give you sustained energy and provide the essential building blocks the brain needs. So, think about things rich in antioxidants. They help protect brain cells from damage. Healthy fats are also crucial, especially omega-3s. They're key for the structure of brain cells and how they communicate.
Right.
And lean proteins provide amino acids, which your brain uses to make neurotransmitters, those chemical messengers.
So things like leafy greens, maybe berries, fatty fish.
Exactly. Leafy greens like spinach or kale, fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, nuts and seeds, berries, those are all fantastic examples of foods packed with brain-boosting nutrients.
And on the flip side, what should we maybe be a bit cautious about?
Well, foods that are really high in refined sugars or heavily processed ingredients, they tend to cause those rapid spikes and then subsequent crashes in blood sugar levels. Those energy fluctuations translate directly into mental energy slumps and make it much harder to stay focused. So,
Hmm.
limiting those can really help prevent those significant dips in concentration.
Makes sense. Nourish the brain, stay hydrated, avoid the sugar crashes. Simple but powerful. Okay, practice number 5 feels incredibly necessary in our always-on world, taking breaks and managing stress.
Yes. Our culture often pushes this idea that you just have to power through exhaustion, right? That constant effort equals productivity.
Totally, like stopping is slacking off.
But the reality is, pushing relentlessly without taking breaks actually leads to burnout, and it severely diminishes your cognitive function and clarity. It's counterproductive in the long run.
It feels backward sometimes, but taking a pause helps you go faster later.
Exactly. Strategic breaks are absolutely crucial for mental restoration. Even short, regular pauses throughout your workday. Just stepping away from your screen, maybe doing a quick stretch or taking a brief walk outside, they allow your mind to rest and reset. This prevents fatigue and actually improves your ability to sustain focus over longer periods. Think of them as efficiency boosters, not time wasters.
I like that framing. And stress management, how does that directly tackle the fog?
Well, when you're under chronic stress, your system gets flooded with hormones like cortisol. High levels of cortisol over time can actually impair memory and what we call executive functions.
Executive functions, like
Yep.
planning and staying focused.
Precisely. The skills you need for organizing tasks, making decisions, regulating impulses. So actively managing stress helps reduce that neurochemical interference, which directly helps clear away that mental cloudiness.
What are some simple, practical techniques someone could use, maybe right in a stressful moment?
Really simple things can work. Just taking a few slow, deep belly breaths can quickly activate your body's relaxation response, calming things down. Progressive muscle relaxation is another good one. That's where you consciously tense and then fully release different muscle groups in your body. It's surprisingly effective at releasing physical tension, which often goes hand in hand with mental stress.
And sometimes just like getting thoughts out of your head helps too.
Oh, absolutely. Finding healthy outlets to process stress is vital. That could be writing things down in a journal, just getting the worries onto paper, or even just talking through a stressful situation with a supportive friend or family member. It helps externalize the worries, maybe see them from a different perspective, and stops them from just swirling around inside, clouding your thinking.
Deep breaths, short breaks, talking it out, essential tools.
Hmm?
Okay, practice number 6. Practicing mental stimulation. This feels like keeping the brain fit.
Very much so. It really is like exercising a muscle. Your brain needs regular challenges to maintain and even improve its cognitive abilities. Engaging in activities that stimulate your mind helps build and strengthen the neural connections, the pathways in your brain.
Like a workout for your neurons.
Exactly. It's about doing things that require conscious mental effort, focus, and maybe learning something new.
So what kind of activities are we talking about here?
Well, reading is always excellent. So are things like solving puzzles, crosswords, Sudoku, logic problems. Engaging in strategic games can be great too. But actively learning something new, something that really pushes your cognitive boundaries, that seems particularly beneficial.
Like what?
Things like learning a new language or maybe picking up a musical instrument. Even learning a new complex skill related to work or a hobby, like coding or intricate crafting. These demand sustained focus and practice, and they really build brain capacity.
So it's not just passively consuming information, but actively engaging, learning, problem solving, creating connections.
Exactly. These types of activities promote neuroplasticity. That's the brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections between neurons. It keeps your brain agile, flexible, and better equipped to handle complex information and stay sharp.
Keep the brain challenged. Got it. And finally, practice number 7, which feels very tangible, decluttering your environment.
Yeah, this one might seem a bit less direct than, say, sleep or nutrition, but believe me, your physical surroundings have a really profound impact on your mental state.
I definitely feel that. When my desk is a complete mess, my thoughts tend to feel scattered too. Is that a real thing?
Oh, it's a very real thing, and there's a reason for it. A cluttered environment basically bombards your senses with visual information. Your brain has to constantly work to filter out all that irrelevant stuff, and that competes for your attention. This constant low-level processing effort contributes to feelings of overwhelm, makes it harder to focus, and can definitely add to that feeling of mental fog.
So the solution is just start tidying up. Sounds simple, maybe too simple.
Well, starting small can make a surprisingly big difference. You don't have to overhaul your entire house overnight. Even just dedicating, say, 5 or 10 minutes each day to organize your immediate workspace or maybe one countertop in the kitchen, it reduces that visual noise.
And what does that do for your mind?
A clean, organized space tends to foster a sense of calm and order internally as well. By removing those external distractions, you create an environment that actually supports mental clarity. It allows your mind to direct its focus more easily onto what you actually want to think about. It creates a kind of mental breathing room.
That makes a lot of sense. And I've heard that bringing a bit of nature indoors can help too, like plants or natural light.
Yes, that's a great addition.
Mhm.
Studies have shown that elements like natural light and even just having a few indoor plants around can improve mood, reduce stress levels, and even boost productivity. All of which contribute to feeling mentally clearer. They sort of connect us back to a calmer, more natural state.
Okay, wow. So we've covered quite a bit. Prioritizing sleep, moving your body, practicing mindfulness, hydrating and eating well, taking breaks and managing stress, stimulating your mind, and decluttering your space. That's a lot, but I think the core message I'm taking away, and what I really emphasize at Renew You Life, is that mental fog isn't something you just have to accept. It's not permanent.
Not at all.
Mhm.
These practices are like interconnected levers you can pull. And the good news is you don't have to pull them all at once. Even just focusing consistently on one or two that feel manageable for you right now can start to initiate really positive changes in how you feel and think.
I think that's so key. Don't feel overwhelmed by the list. Just maybe pick one practice that resonates, something that feels doable, and commit to trying it out consistently, say, for the next week. Just see how it feels from now.
And the potential benefits really are significant. We're talking about potentially sharper focus, maybe feeling more confident in your decisions, enhanced creativity, and just an overall sense of feeling more present and, well, better.
It really is about reclaiming that feeling of being fully engaged and capable in your own life. This deep dive for me has been about sharing these insights, these practices that I truly believe can help clear the path to a clearer, sharper mind. And if these ideas resonated with you today, I'd love for you to continue exploring them with us. You can join the Renew You Life community online. Just look for Renew You Life on social media. We share more inspiration and daily reminders there to support your journey. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one question to reflect on. Which single practice we discussed today feels like the most gentle and impactful place for you to start reclaiming your mental clarity this week? Just mull that over. Maybe pick that one small step you can take today or tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me.